Hey, it's Sean Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Sean Shapiro. This is Ask a Traffic Cop. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff every single day, or at least it feels like it. And I'm here to answer your traffic and police questions. So if you've got them, please send them my way. I have questions that come in on all the platforms that we're currently broadcasting on. Just switching on to make sure I've got the right screen visible to see what's coming in. But if you want to send me voicemail, you can also go to askatrafficcop.ca. What do you actually see when you go there? I'll show it to you. Askatrafficcop.ca is our new and magical website that's got lots of stuff on it. You can not only send me a voicemail by clicking the tab at the side, you can just leave me a message and we'll actually play your message, or we shouldn't say we will. We might play it on the show. Sometimes we get some stuff we don't want to share. It's personal. But here you can check our schedule, all sorts of stuff and things. Go peruse. Also, you'll notice this win up to $100,000 in the Great Canadian Driving Games. That is if you install a magical app that tracks your driving and, well, it rewards you for your safe driving. What happens is it tracks whether you accelerate hard or slowly, or corner too fast, or speed, or use your cell phone. And if you're not doing bad stuff, it's giving you points, which mean extra entries into the competition. They're doing a draw for $100,000 on September 14th, I believe. That's when the competition ends. And is it a competition? It's a game. See, when you have your friends and you're all on a team, you get to see who's winning and who's not. It's a challenge. And if you're not challenging your friends, at least you're challenging yourself. I know I'm trying to be a better driver every single day. And yesterday, one of our viewers said that he's getting 90s. Well, I'm in the 80s, which means he's better, and that sucks. So I have to do better. I think it's based on my cell phone mount myself. That's what I believe. But we'll see what happens. I might have to go buy a new mount just so I can be better or get better scores. Anyway, that's the thing that I wanted to show you. And there's lots of information there. There's even pages for dash camera referrals. I've got it. I'll show it to you. Why don't I just show it to you? If you are looking for a dash camera, if you're looking for stuff and things, people are constantly asking me about products that they can buy that I think are good. And I have them listed on this page. Now, this is an affiliate page. So if you choose to buy something from Amazon using one of these links, it does help support the show and your help is appreciated. But even if you buy it somewhere else, these are the things that I think you should look at. These are the products that I think will fill the need. Whether it be defending your car from would-be thieves or just flashlights and tech. I got a bunch of stuff that I really like and I've listed it here. I also have a different page for creator stuff, even drones. So, you know, if you're looking for stuff and things, check it out. Now, I want to take a moment to address Well, we talked about great the driving games already from the magical people at Turf and Safe Roads Challenge. But I want to talk to you about Diamond and Diamond. They're our sponsors, and they help us put the show on. The lights are on because they're paying the bill, and I appreciate them for that. So if if you're looking for a lawyer to help you with your collisions or whatever happens, talk to them. They know stuff and things. All right, let's get into seeing who's here. Oh, Melody's here. Good morning, Melody. What is this? Washboard Roads? Melody says, I should see what the app. Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to know what the Safe Roads Challenge app thinks of those roads. I was doing some off-roading yesterday, and as such, I probably won't be claiming those drives as my own because it will really screw up my score. We were doing some off-roading in a controlled environment for car reviews. We were driving a Rivian that was absolutely awesome. I got to say, I'm very impressed with that vehicle. If you're watching and you don't already subscribe, please do. And do me a favor, a big favor, on YouTube at VoiceOver Cop. Links on all the pages. Please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers so we can unlock some features on the channel where it's 700 and something. Not that far away, but your help to get us to the next level would be greatly appreciated. Okay, Brandon is here and says, good morning, Sean and all. It's a cooking over a campfire kind of day and a new truck day. Hope you all have a fantastic day. New truck? What did you buy? What did you get? He's got a Mustang. He's got a Corvette. Now he's got a new truck. I am intrigued, my friend. Brandon is a chef and is always cooking up a storm. Nicholas Rizzi is in the house and says, asks, I suppose, is it possible for a cop to look up if you actually have a driver's license, even without having a physical copy? This is a constant question that we get. And the question really is, do I have to carry it? Because if you can look it up, why is it my responsibility? And no, that's not what you said, but that's what most people ask. The responsibility under the Highway Traffic Act is that you have and surrender upon demand of a police officer your actual physical card. And if you don't, it's a $110 fine. Can police do an investigation roadside to figure out if you have a license? Yeah, it's not simply just running a name and address. It's satisfying them as to your identity and that you are in fact licensed. So yes, we have HTA, or I should say MTO access. We have a system that will pull it up, and we can often verify. We want to know things like your name, your date of birth, the last couple of addresses you lived. We've got to verify that you are who you say you are because people lie to the police. I know it's shocking, right? But I told the story yesterday. In fact, I pulled someone over because they had their lights off. And when I asked for their information or their license, they said they didn't have it with them. They forgot it. Turns out they identified with a name, date of birth and stuff. They came back to a suspended driver. And the suspended driver was his brother. That guy that was driving had never been licensed in his life and was shocked to find out that his brother had been suspended. And that's what he said. Oh my God, I can't believe my brother got suspended, which is when I charged him. There was also possibly maybe an impaired driving charge related to that one. So more issues than simply, surrendering a driver's license. But, it all starts at the beginning. We've got Tanya and Forever Interiors. Good morning. Christy Johnson, how you doing? Tanaka Frina. Tina Kafrina. I don't know how to read your name. You got there's no space, so I'm trying all the different versions of your name. Welcome to the stream. The Real Walker Texas Ranger joined and says, I can't hear anything. Why can't you hear anything? Is there no audio? Oh, there's audio. I don't know why you're not hearing anything. Oh, he says, there we go. Weird. I'm glad that it worked. You had me nervous there for a second. G Banyan, how you doing? Or Bucho, how you doing? Laura Mos and Tiana. Oh, we said hello to Tiana, who says good morning back. Welcome. Shko is a user on TikTok. How you doing? And welcome back. Let's see here. When waiting on an updated license, do we need to keep the expired one as well as the receipt? Yes, the expired one is still your your valid photo and all your information in conjunction with your piece of paper that says you applied for a new one and it's coming in the mail. Don't get rid of that one until you have a new one to replace it. It really makes life a lot easier. And if you have the receipt, then you're not going to have an expired license issue because that technically the card isn't valid anymore. I got to say that I miss the good old days, and they were the good old days when we went to the Ministry of Transportation and got an update. They gave you a green piece of paper, and that green piece of paper would act as the extension, and it clearly stated when they put a sticker on your original license saying this is just for photo ID purposes. It just made sense, and now we've got a lot of people left guessing. That's largely due to the fact that we don't renew our license plates anymore. It's automatic, and it just happens as long as you don't have fines or other issues related to your license plate. But I gotta say that it just takes it takes you 2 steps away from knowing what's going on. Like, when does your car expire? Yes, it's your birthday, generally speaking, unless it's registered to a business, and then it's gonna be the fiscal year, count, like the fiscal, year for your accounting that it will go over or whatever date was selected. And, that can be confusing for some. At the end of the day, just stay on top of things. Make a date in your calendar before your birthday. Make sure everything is on the up and up. Because the worst thing to do is to find out that you done screwed up at the side of the road. Yeah, maybe multiple times a year. Go online to your account, check to make sure everything is good to go. Brandon says he's got a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Diesel. I know not what an Elevation Diesel is, but I do know what a Sierra 1500 is. So good stuff. This is what, oddly enough, this question came up on a video that I was chatting in the comments on this morning. And the question is it true that if I'm running from the OPP and I cross the border into Montreal, I'm scot-free, like crossing into Mexico? No, this is not the Dukes of Hazzard. It's not getting to the county line and being free. Police officers have provincial powers. Now, you are talking about going into another jurisdiction, but if you're in hot pursuit, that pursuit will continue. And guess what? We have radios and telephones and all sorts of gadgets, and we will call our friends on the other side of the border to help, stop you. So yeah, we're not just saying goodbye simply because you made it to an imaginary line on the ground. Melody says Brandon should watch my latest video on the 3-liter. Melody says you should go watch her latest video on a 3-liter. Melody's a mechanic who rips apart stuff and things and fixes them magically, I might add. So Brandon's on YouTube, but if you go onto TikTok and find Melody or DM me, I'll send you a message in the chat. Okay, what have I got to talk about this morning? So many things. I was recently over at Diamond and Diamond filming a podcast with them, and we were talking about the magic of automated enforcement. Now, oddly enough, one person there, who shall remain nameless, Diana, was not a fan of the idea of automated enforcement, whereas I think they should be on every road, everywhere. So here's the question. I pose it to you. Do you think that you should have a better chance? Like, do you like the idea of having to randomly be caught by a police officer as opposed to having strict enforcement on every road? Because we're acknowledging that the law says you're not allowed to speed, not even 1 kilometer. So if you're not allowed to speed, why are people so upset when they get caught speeding? Why is it, an overreach of the government to set up computer systems and enforcement systems to catch you when you break the law, when you are without question breaking the law? People get really offended by this, and it boggles the mind because y'all doing something wrong, and to not get caught is simple. Don't break the law. Why should it be that we have to hire more police officers to put them on more street corners to enforce the laws that we could be handling by way of automation? I think it's a really good system, and I'd like to see it everywhere. I'd like to see it deployed similar to how they do it in Europe. And in Europe, they also add demerit points. At very least in Australia, they do. And I think that is the way to go. I think we should have it where there should not be an inch for you to break the law, because we know the laws were put in place to keep people safe. So I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Okay. Texas Walker Ranger says I left and then I came back and now the audio is good. So it was good that it was a him thing. And he wants to know, as a former cop, how frustrated do you guys get when media goes out asking people to avoid an area, yet people flock to that area to watch what's going on? Had it happen at a local standoff yesterday. No kidding. Well, the truth is the people on the ground aren't really aware of what's going on in the background to mitigate those interactions. They're busy focused on the people that are potentially causing an issue right where they is. And it is frustrating when people keep showing up. But nowadays, who gets the news? Like, we ask people not to come by way of traditional media. How many people have cable TV? How many people use anything other than social media to get their information? I certainly don't. I watch YouTube and I watch TikTok and I listen to I watch for alerts on X, but really, if something's in my stream, it's there, and if it looks interesting, people are going to start going to it, and it's natural. I get it. We're busy focused, or I should say, they are busy focused on the task at hand. Might they afterwards be upset that it could be handled better, or could have had a different way to mitigate the onslaught of interferers? Absolutely, but that's all debriefing stuff afterwards. Okay. What about from job security standpoint? Do we need human traffic enforcement? If we can, okay. So the Real Walker Texas Ranger wants to know if, from a job security standpoint, do we need human traffic enforcement if we can do camera work? Sorry, if we can have a camera do the work, I'd rather see people working. Two different things. One, we can't be everywhere, and we absolutely need physical police doing the enforcement because the way it currently stands, there's no demerit points, which means it's a subscription system. It's an annoyance. People have to pay. It does deter people from doing it. We know that. We see the numbers go down for offenses in those areas because honest people who don't want to pay a boatload of money for tickets, well, they actually listen to the enforcement cues when they get the first ticket. They tend to slow down. Will it work for everybody? No. Police officers still need to be there, still need to conduct investigations, still need to go dig deeper because with the automated enforcement, they have no idea who's driving the car in the current setup in Ontario, which means it's a ticket, it goes away. It's double fines. The fines are doubled in those community safety zones. So it's expensive, but it doesn't change their driving career. It doesn't increase their insurance. We absolutely need police officers to go and give the next level of enforcement to those people who need to lose their licenses or get suspended or find out they have no insurance and take them off the road. We need both, but we shouldn't do one or the other. It shouldn't be an if and it shouldn't be an if or. It should be an if and. We catch you, and we catch you again. Maybe it's not an if and or other. Anyway, moving on. Melody says, hot pursuit. Now I need to watch Dukes a Hazard. It's Roscoe Pico Train. I haven't watched that in 100 years, but Roscoe was the best. Can a Niagara cop stop me in Waterloo? That's from username BG. You are likely someone who saw, I'm assuming you saw a recent video posted by Officer Randy, Officer Arsenault, where he talked to PC Pappy and asked that question in his most recent video. And the answer is yes, a police officer in Ontario is a police officer across the province, and they have the lawful authority to stop you. Now, there is some jurisdictional stuff that comes into play when laying charges, because the courts don't want us laying charges more than one jurisdiction away. And he sort of said there was no jurisdictions. There are, for the purposes of court, jurisdictions. That doesn't prevent a police officer who has the authority to enforce the Highway Traffic Act from stopping and calling a friend who has a ticket book from the local jurisdiction to write a ticket. And what would generally happen is the officer from the local jurisdiction would write the ticket. The police officer who stopped you from Toronto, let's say, or Niagara, would be the witness officer giving the grounds for the ticket to be issued. And then both officers would then show up in court on court day in the event that you were disputing it. But it's absolutely legal, and the police absolutely have the authority. And if you fail to pull over, like one person in his comments section said, I just don't stop for people in Durham when we're in Toronto, or I don't stop for Durham police. And he made some asinine comment. That would be a pursuit if you don't stop. And then we'd be talking about fail to stop for police, which would be, upping the ante. And you're looking at criminal charges instead of a simple charge under the Highway Traffic Act. So they can stop you anywhere, and like they can stop you on the highway, they can stop you in the city. There's no this concept of borders of municipalities. A Toronto cop isn't just a cop in Toronto. That's the big thing. And police officers on or off duty are still police officers. They are required. They are absolutely mandated, and can be charged under the police. Well, what was the Police Services Act? in the event that they did not act in certain circumstances. A speeding ticket, they're not doing enforcement for speeding on off duty. But if there was a criminal event, if someone was getting pounded out and a police officer stands by and watches, and someone finds out that the police officer did nothing, they're going to have problems because they're obligated. They're a police officer 24/7 until they retire or resign. Okay, Zed. That's a very good name. It says, how are people equal under the law when the punishments for many crimes are fines? And then they go on to say, wealthy people can face the punishment much more easily. How is that equal? Well, there are jurisdictions that go and give you a fine based on your income, which would be interesting. And there are definitely suggestions that be equalized. And you're right, people who have lots of money can pay a $300 fine and it's no sweat, whereas somebody else would pay a larger fine. But you know what you can both do, whether you're wealthy or not, is not break the frickin' law. That's the easiest way to deal with this. Coming up with baloney issues of the consequences for breaking the law ignores the fact that you're breaking the law. Don't break the law and no one gets a fine. Yeah. But I do like the idea of making the fines far more impactful. We're looking to motivate change, and it doesn't happen when you can just make you go away. Parking enforcement, same thing. You put a vehicle in front of a nightclub, it's a $50 ticket, but it's also a $50 ticket or $50 parking fee at the local garage. The person doesn't want to walk. They just take the fine. Well, I think we should tow those vehicles and impound them. But people don't like to be offended by tickets. So that's the thing. Hey, if you're watching, my name is Sean Shapiro. Obviously, you're watching. You're hearing this message. If you're watching and you don't know what this is, you just stumbled upon it. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff every single day. And if you're watching, you have questions, you ask them, and I answer them. And if you can't get your question answered today, I do this 5 days a week: Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 9 p.m. And it's a place to come and get your answers for questions you didn't even know you had. And if you have questions you do know you have, you ask them and we answer them. I think I'm going to stop talking about it. Okay. Boy Mom 8424 says Randy and Pappy could have their own show. They could. They don't. Why don't? Oh, actually, Randy's got a show. I actually got to call Randy and see how he's doing. Okay. Zed, who obviously has some issues with police, because this question is, why do cops have the ability to turn off their own body cams? This is one of the best questions because it highlights the fact that people don't understand privacy laws. So let's say you were to go into a situation where there have no evidentiary value. You're protecting someone else's stuff, or they're going to the bathroom. Any reason like that would be to turn it off. And after an investigation, like when they're privately on their own in the car, they're having lunch, they don't need to record that. So they can turn it on and they can turn it off, but they have to answer to why they did it. And that doesn't always go well for them. But there's absolutely reasons why you turn them off. Okay. Jake Christo says it just like I did. Maybe don't break the law. Mr. Hule, we've seen each other before. I've read your name because I've tried to pronounce it before and I don't know how to do it, so I'm going to move on. Is a cell phone considered a two-way radio? I have a ham radio license, and some sites, and some sites say they are. There is software available for cell phones that specifically allow two-way radio communication as an app. However, under the law, while an amateur radio, I'm doing my amateur radio course right now. It is not. It specifies. And let me see if I screen grabbed this recently. Hang on a second. I'm gonna pull it up on the law. So we have handheld communication OREG, and it specifies like PTT, right? Let's see here. Here we go. Display screens, and we're gonna go amateur. Okay, here we go. So drivers who hold a valid radio operator certificate issued under the Radio Communications Act in Canada may drive a motor vehicle on a highway while holding or using a two-way radio. That's the statement. If you, but it is not. It is not. I get what you're saying, that it's technically that, but it's very clear a definition of a two-way I see where you're going. I don't think it meets the definition. I mean, you might be able to say, because even the Toronto Police have apps installed on our issued phones, some issued phones, that allow to operate as a two-way radio, and that exemption would apply there. I don't think you're in the right game for saying. I think you'd be arguing a technicality as opposed to a legit argument. And it might work in court, but it would be something that the courts would ultimately determine. I don't think it meets the requirements, and it's intended for two-way radio. I think there's a definition section in there that I'll go back and read later to double down. So if you want to reach out to me by way of DM, we can continue the conversation after, because everybody else is going, why are we talking about amateur radios and cell phones? So, but and a whole bunch of people are going to be like, well, hang on a second, I'm going to go get my my amateur radio license. Zed says, are you proud of your job, Mr. Overseer? Zed, I don't know who peed in your Wheaties, but I'm a retired guy, at least from the police service. I still work hard every day, but I don't do it as a police officer anymore. I was incredibly proud as a police officer. I am proud of the work I did. I'm proud of the work that I still do, contributing to the community through education. So yes, but overseer is a weird thing. It's someone who tries to motivate people to do better. And Zed, if you've got problems with the law, it starts at home. You got to figure out what you're doing wrong to get so much attention. But it appears that you've got some bias there, and you can work on that, because we can all improve. So good luck to you on your journey, and have the day you deserve. Spider Three Aces says Roscoe and Flash. Yes, best show ever. Let's see here. We got boom, boom, boom. That's too funny, because Spider said the same thing that I said, and I didn't even read that comment afterwards. Let's see here. We'll ignore the green hair person for a few minutes and see what Rizzy's talking about. Oh, Kayla's back with greetings and salutations. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Hope he says. Oh, he says he's feeling a little bit better today, but he's been under the weather for some time. I do hope that you are on the mend, my friend. We've missed your jokes, Nicholas. Rizzy has not been replacing you. He hasn't tried really, but I'm just calling him out. Okay. If what if I lose my license but I get another copy, so I get pulled over within 4 to 6 weeks waiting period, and all I have is my temporary paper license? Does that hold up? If you lost it and you have a temporary receipt stating who you is and that you have applied for a new one, then that would be sufficient information. Yes. Zed says, I'm talking to the green haired person. The thin blue line doesn't exist. The thin blue line is a concept, a division between order and chaos, and apparently you like the chaos side. So, the thin blue line is a wonderful thing. There's a white line, thin white line for paramedics. There's a yellow line, and believe that's is now being adopted by security. Green line for military. I don't know how you interpret the blue line, but again, have the day you deserve. Greetings. We talked about this one. Feeling a bit better. We talked about that. How many new cops are there that join the force but just can't handle it and resign within a few days? I don't think we see it within a day. I mean, most people have sorry, 1 second. Now Zed with the green hair has turned into someone who must spam, and thus we must mute. But that's okay. I love the function that we can just have the stupid people stop talking. Okay. And I do that by way of pressing a button, and then they go away, and they get frustrated. They create new accounts to come in, and they start spamming again. I kind of miss the trolls. I think I dealt with most of the troll problem, but the green hair one has come back in. Hadn't seen her for months and months, if not a year or longer. But I know I've seen her before. Anyway, so I don't think people leave because they spent like $15,000 to go to college. Well, up until the last couple of years, most people putting in that kind of level of dedication last a lot longer, and very often they do find their way, and it's just a matter of doing things. I've not met anyone who just stopped showing up after 2 days and quit, because I think by the time they graduated, they really know what they're getting into. And yes, go away. Okay, I definitely didn't understand the retired part. Boom. Nicholas Rizzi says, cops turn off their body cameras because over time it can cause heart failure, just like how cell phones in the 90s caused brain tumor. It's true. Look, really? But it's always running. It's always running. So even though they're turning it off, they're not turning it off. They're not powering it down. It's running, and it's running on a loop. And then whether it's the lights and sirens being activated that turns it on, they have holsters that when you draw your firearm, it'll trigger the camera to start recording. There's a bunch of different ways that they're linked together, so they're always running. So they never really turn off. If it creates a heart failure, that's not good. What are your top cereals? Well, I don't eat cereal, but if I did, I love the Toucan Sam, most dangerous, horrible, unhealthy stuff. I really do like that. I really got a kick out of the Reese's peanut butter. I like crunchy cereals. I like cereal, but I don't eat it anymore. I haven't eaten it in years. It's just one of those things that was developed for to stuff more grain and fill you up. I don't like it. In fact, I don't eat carbs at all anymore. Yesterday, I went to a magical place for lunch and had the most amazing meat. It was just meat, chicken and lamb and beef, and it was fantastic. And I had one meal yesterday. It was lunch with Brian, and I had no room for any more. So I went to bed satisfied after my lunch from the day. Anyway, Melody says Sugar Crisp, the healthiest cereal ever. Sugar Crisp? Is that the one with the bear? Can't get enough of that chicken. Yeah, my God, the ads. I don't think I ever liked that cereal. I love Captain Crunch, and I think they had a peanut butter Captain Crunch. How did we get off of this topic? Damn you, Rizzy! Sugar Crisp, the healthiest cereal ever. My goodness. Let's see here. We've got Leo Tarantino. How you doing? He's a realtor and he joined. Spider 3 Aces, green and blue haired people always starting. Fruit Loops. Yes, I just follow your nose. It's the nose that knows. Toucan Sam was a great character. Do you think they should make a Toucan Sam like full-length movie? Would anyone see that? SH18, you would like a Brazilian steakhouse. SH18, I'm married because of a Brazilian steakhouse. I used to go to Copacabana. I knew the family and the staff there, and we called it Steak Club. I used to go like twice a month to Copacabana. I've been to a number of Brazilian steakhouses, and when I lived in the United States, I was down the street from a place called, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's bugging me. What's it called? Anyways, I used to live in Las Olas, and I used to go to this place all the time. It was so good. It's what started off my addiction with Brazilian steakhouses. So yeah, all you can eat steak. I'm all over it. It's the best thing since sliced bread because it's sliced steak. Get it? Yeah. Okay. What are we doing for time? We got 32 minutes. We got 28 minutes left. Hope you're doing okay. If you got questions, I got answers. That's because I'm an ex-cop who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. But I talk about more than that. We talk about movies and cereal and cars and stuff. So yesterday, just to give you some background and of what happened yesterday, Brian Max is a race car driver, race car instructor, race team owner, or principal. That's it's the fancy name. It's principal. He is a journalist. He does car reviews. He's a radio show host. Like he does a lot of stuff. He smokes and writes about cigars. Lots of talent there. Anyway, he and I hung out for the day. We did some stuff. I brought my drones out. We did some awesome photography and videography of a very, very cool vehicle, which I had the opportunity to drive. It's a Rivian SUV, and holy moly, is that thing fast! It was the tri-motor vehicle, and I will say that I never expected to like it. I've driven electric vehicles. I'm not really all about electric. I like the big old 8-cylinder chugga-lugga engines that make that have that sound that it's just, yeah. This thing is silent and it's a bullet. But from the moment I opened the door, I'm like, I like the interior. This is awesome. I didn't like the $180,000 price tag for this vehicle, but wow, it was slick. Not to mention the fact that it had a removable Bluetooth speaker that you could take out and a flashlight in the door, where in a Rolls Royce it would be an umbrella. They put a rechargeable flashlight. Either way, very, very cool vehicle. And he'll have an episode out the next week or so on that, featuring my footage. But it'll also a segment will be about Sean buys a car, because he's helped me buy a new car, and by way of reviewing all the cars he reviews. Sam Taylor ____ wants to know if I ever applied to other jurisdictions other than Toronto. Actually, I did. The day I turned 18, or shortly after turning 18, York Regional Police was hiring, and I went and applied there at 18. I did not get in. I went and did the tests. I think if I remember correctly, I got a letter saying you need to score 275. You got 274. You're not in. Like it was something like that. I had it on the fridge for a long time. I was really pissed off. But you know what? It was great. I ended up going out at 18 and getting a whole lot of life experience doing other things, and then came back and applied to Toronto. And I couldn't apply as a police officer to Toronto because there was a hiring freeze at the time. And then there was an opportunity to become an auxiliary constable. So I did. I became a volunteer, and I did that with my buddy Matt. And he and I both joined the auxiliary police. Had a great time doing that. After which he became a parking enforcement officer and I became a court officer, which is now called a special constable, and they've expanded the responsibilities. I had so much fun doing that that I kept doing it for a long time. I became a supervisor in courts. I became a sergeant with the auxiliary police. And then I transitioned into policing much later than I ever anticipated. So if you are looking for a career in policing, whether it be as a police constable, special constable, parking enforcement officer, those are all fantastic. If you're looking to volunteer, check out auxiliary officer. I think it's the best way to contribute to your community in a meaningful way. You know, yeah, you can do all sorts of things. You can go sweep streets, but you can do amazing things with training and have experiences like no other volunteer opportunity out there. It's the cat's ass. I don't know why I said it that way. Okay, so police constable, you can read all about this magical position here. Find out what the requirements are, kind of things you're going to be doing. You can also find out how much y'all get paid if you get hired. So while you're a cadet in training, $68,864 a year. That's while you're being trained. That is more than some salaries for other jobs, and that's fantastic. Now, obviously, you have to pass and graduate to get your badge and whatnot. That's when you're going to get paid $76,000 on graduation, going forward for about a year. Now, that is right there a reasonable salary. Plus, you're working towards benefits, or you're going to have benefits, and you're working towards vacation and whatnot. A year later, you're going to get to 87,476. A year later, 98,409, and then finally, first class constables are going to make 109. Call it 110, and that's while getting all your benefits and vacation and all that jazz. I don't think there's a better job out there, and I love and respect it, and it's something that if you're interested in making a difference, this is the job to do it in. Now, you don't have to wear a uniform to contribute. You can be a communications operator. You can be one of the magical people who answers the call. Literally, 911. They answer and they send help. They do that by dispatching police, by transfer you to fire, ambulance, whatever the case is. These people are literally holding the strings, controlling what happens in the police service. If you're a police member somewhere else, you're a police officer in a different jurisdiction, you want to come join the Toronto Police, they hire laterally. And hey, look at that. I can go back and get a job because they will rehire police officers who have left. If you previously served as a Toronto police officer and are interested in returning, Uniform Recruitment Team wants to hear from you. Well, they haven't called me, but actually, that's not true. We have talked. Let's see here. Civilian roles. Other jobs that you can absolutely do. And some Mr. Bean said, IT jobs? Yes, there are IT jobs. Now, these jobs are posted, and while the posting is active, you can go and apply. And when the posting is down, you are out of luck. So keep an eye on this page. The web page is, let me put it on the screen. It is tps.ca/careers, and that's where you can find all this great information. But people strategy and performance lead, I don't know what that is, but they're hiring information security analyst, developer in the digital team, project leader digital team, solutions architect digital team, UX UI business analyst digital team, and communications operator. They have their own webpage, but the posting is active for that. So yeah, don't waste time, because time is a ticking, and I don't have anything else to say that would rhyme with that, so we're gonna let it go. But yeah, do check them regularly, and know that if you are interested, don't wait. Like, even if the job you want isn't available, go start preparing your resume. Okay, we got mugs and extract ed training, and oh, I know extract ed training. How's it going? Boom. Let's see here. Are there any services in Ontario that still don't have MDTs in their cruisers? Sam Taylor wants to know. I think that although they have computers inside the Sarnia police cars, I understand that they dispatch manually. Like they read it over the radio and people write it in. I know that because a friend of mine used to be a Sarnia officer. I don't know if that is still the case. That information is now a couple years old. But at the time that he was there, it was totally different than anything that I was ever. I didn't think it was possible, but they can surf Google in their cars. I understand that they can do that. I don't know what other services how they operate. That's my own example. Only example. Apparently, my wife likes Fruit Loops too. That's why we get along. Okay. What was the question about 35? Oh, my partner is looking to do foundations for London Police, but is concerned 35 is too old. It is not too old. Go away, okay? Not at all. I can tell you that the oldest in my class when I became a PC was 52. So 35, not too old. Okay. Give them encouragement. Tell them, yeah. And Shkoe says, I don't consider it old. I think he's concerned about being one of the older ones there. Listen, 34 was the average age being hired for the longest time. If you were under 35, you probably weren't getting hired for the longest time. I can tell you that other cops like it when their recruits have a little gray in their beard. Maybe not this much gray, but this is the deal is that life experience goes a long way, and you bring all of that life experience to the job when you're a little bit older. And if you come in when you're 24, it used to be very hard to get hired at that age. Now that's happening more and more because we're looking for more and more officers. So, younger people are suddenly getting in, but that was not the norm. Okay. And my wife clearly states that I was one of the older ones and I made it. Thanks, honey. Azrael, how you doing? Azrael is in Kyiv and says it's nighttime here. Well, I'm glad you're joining us again. I guess it was daytime last night when you were joining us because they were on the live stream last night when we were on at 9 p.m. for the Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. Melody needs to be best friends with Brian Max, apparently. Fast Car Guy. I'm going to tell him that's his new name is Fast Car Guy. Okay. SH18 says, what's meant to be will always be. I'm so glad my dream job didn't pan out. Really? What did you end up doing? Or what was your dream job? Either way, I'm interested to know what we're talking about because right now we know that steak is something that we have in common. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Azrael says, when I did highways in BC, it was 100. What? You were doing 162 grand a year as a BC sheriff? Is that was what you were doing? I'm assuming based on what your comment is. Okay. So Mr. Beat Songs wants to know, looking for a cyber security or cyberspace? Because you said cyberspace. Did you mean cybersecurity? They do their own clearance checks. I don't think you have to come with the clearance check in hand, but I don't know. Hannah says, hello, Hannah. SH18 wanted to be a corporate clerk. I now work in mortgages. Oh, very cool. I used to be a realtor. I gave up my license, but I used to be a realtor. I was a realtor for many moons. And Michael Babineau, how you doing? Good to see you, brother. What do we got here? Okay. TJ, welcome. Oh, Hannah says, I went to a police academy, but now I'm in the beauty industry. That is a shift. Are you happy in the beauty industry? Do you want to still go into the police? Was it Atlantic Police Academy or were you in the States? Are you in the States? Let me know. I'm interested to know. Azrael says, if the OPP won't take you, the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine will message me. Was that me who you're recruiting for Ukraine or which? I'm probably not going to war. I think I got enough stuff to deal with just talking about traffic. But yeah. There's lots of people who need help. Police agencies across North America need applicants now. I'm seeing heavy recruiting efforts across North America, USA, Canada, where everyone is starving for people who want to go and serve the community. It's not about getting a great job. It is, but it's about helping people. I don't know why people have such an issue with police. You can be someone's best friend, and the day they find out that you are a police officer, that you want to be a police officer, you're suddenly the man. And as the man, you are bad. I don't know. It's ridiculous. People who want to help other people and go out and help people every day suddenly become evil, motivated by money. It's ridiculous. But it's not, it's primarily because of the media and the spin. Like to suggest that all cops are racist or, because they arrest people who break the law. That's a cop out. I shouldn't use cop out. That's a bad example. I don't like that word. It says cop and then out. Yeah. I got a dad joke. If you got dad jokes, please let me know, because since Akela has not been up to full power, he's not been supplying dad jokes. Oh, thank you, Rizzy. He's a Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy because cops don't know why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know about the cops part, but I do love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I haven't had it in 100 years, but I do think it's a great cereal. Tasty Tasteums. What do we got? Did you put bananas in your cereal? That's a serious question. Okay. Do cops need a warrant to check out my trunk? That's a real question from Nicholas Rizzi. Usually it's a joke. Usually it's something with some cringe, but this one was a real joke. So depends. Generally, yes. Plain sight doctrine suggests that if we pull you over and we see something that's not supposed to be there, that's enough reason to search the area surrounding the driver. If it's in the trunk, truly, then generally speaking, we're going to get a warrant for it. But then there's different situations where, which could make that urgent. Like if we thought there was a person in the trunk, like the exigent circumstances. And I had one where it was a search. It was an impaired driving charge. And as a result, we're doing an inventory search. And once the trunk opened, we realized it was full of drugs. And now we wait and we get a warrant. So it depends. There's everything in policing is depends. Okay. What was the no pressure? Oh, okay. Melody says, going back. So Hannah says, Scott Police Academy in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. It's an absolutely wonderful experience. I did not know that. I know nothing about policing and the ways and means of getting into the police career outside of Ontario. So things are done very differently. So you went to the police academy. Do that before or after you get hired? Because in Ontario, you have to be hired and sponsored by an agency to go to the police academy. Whereas my cousin, who's in Michigan, I just like to make fun of that. No, he's in Michigan, and he went to a police academy and then went looking for a job. Totally different way of doing things. They just do it different in the States. SH18 says, I'd love to be a dispatcher, but I think I take too much home. Yeah, that's a tough job. It's a very tough job. People don't realize how much it is. And there's a 50% washout rate. 50% of the people who become dispatchers don't last on the job, whether it be because they can't hack it themselves, like they don't pass the qualifications, or they quit. So with that level of fallout, they hire twice as many as they need because they only get to keep half. Melody says, I have many cop friends, never seen them as the enemy. No, because you're normal, Melody. That's a good thing. Some of the strange ones think we're weird, but they're weird. I don't know. Age is Bernhard says, age is just a number. If you want it, go get it. I did at 52 years old. And again, congratulations, Bernhard. We've been following along as he went through the process before he went to the college and after graduation, and now he's all done and he's working close by here. So we really have to grab a bean. We have to go grab a coffee. Let me know when you're available. Azrael is talking about cereal, and his favorite is Apple Cheerios. He misses it so much. I've had Apple Cheerios. I can't say Cheerios are my favorite, although I do like Honey Nut Cheerios. But again, Cheerios have never, plain Cheerios and multigrain Cheerios are freaking disgusting. Yuck. And Snap Crackle Pop Rice Krispies, were good if you put a boatload of sugar on them, but I don't think they were good otherwise. And I don't do sugar, so yeah. Melody says it's nice when you call for help and a friend is the first one to respond. Absolutely. I can tell you that when I had my crash, I am lying on the middle of the street after being struck by a car when I was in a police motorcycle collision, and I'm lying there, and the first person to come to me was a retired police officer friend of mine, and I'm going to call him after the show. Now that I've thought of him, um, just magic to have someone that you know and trust, and we're all family, right? So the second person to show up was a police officer on paid duty from my station. Third person to show up, like it's a big deal when you're getting backup, and when you're getting back up by someone on the job, that's just as good. Hannah says, before I also want to go to the military. My brother was in the military and I want to do it. Military is great. I'm going to be, I speak regularly to the military, to the Canadian Armed Forces about driving. I speak to their military drivers because they have to get a military license and get qualified on their vehicles. Some don't have a license at all, and others drive, where they drive. They drive in the province that they're from, and then they get a military license to drive military vehicles. Anyway, I'll be speaking there this week again. I throughout the summer months when they're doing their training, I get involved with them because I believe in what they do. So for anyone in the military, thank you for your service. Bernhard getting congratulations from SH18. Life's Allowed Studio. I like that. That's a good username. Golden Grams are my favorite. I don't remember Golden Grams. I gotta let me see here. I'm gonna googly goo. That's the wrong window. I do want to share with you some of the feedback that I got from my request for where did it go? My request for intersections that I should monitor. And I think you're going to find it interesting to see what ChatGPT did with the feedback from all the comments. So let me tell you what this is. Who wants bland and tasteless food? That's Ezreal wondering. I like spicy. That's why I like spicy food. I don't want bland. I don't want it tasteless. Okay. What was the question? It was Golden Grams. Maybe I like Golden Grams. Oh, which is the honeycomb one? Where's my mouse? There we go. Okay, Golden Grams. I don't remember what these look like. Oh, Golden Grams. I don't remember eating. I mean, I vaguely remember them. Golden Grams Crunch. I maybe I like these. Oh, you know which ones really messed with me? What were the ones that were like frosted giant things, and you had to it was like a cake, and you had to break it up, and it was what were those called? Huge things. And you could get minis too, but I never really had them. But I'm really curious. Northern Cop, how you doing? Jay Martin, how you doing? Capped Core, howdy. Mini wheats, thank you. I wasn't a mini wheats person. I had them before, but I didn't understand why you had to and shredded wheat. What's shredded wheat? Yeah, yeah, and mini wheats. So mini wheats were more, but the giant one was that I don't know. I'm gonna do a whole thing on stuff and on cereal now. I have to reevaluate my life. Billy McBeard says, Sean, that beard is looking dynamite. Neon lit license plate, legal or not legal in Ontario? Not legal in Ontario, my friend. You're not allowed to emit light backwards other than amber or red, and you shouldn't have a frame on your license plate at all. Could you do it if it was red or amber? You might have an argument in court that would make that legitimate. However, the only thing that should be on the license plate is the license plate 3 Candela license plate light. Curious if Melody is losing her mind about the concept of a neon license plate frame. The biggest problem with frames is that they cover portions of the license plate, which renders them not legal. And if you have a light being emitted directly from that area that could prevent it from being photographed, or if it was being so if it interfered with cameras or your ability to see it, it would be a problem. If it was anything other than red or amber, it would be a problem. I would just say don't do it. But I appreciate the question. I do see some applications of additional brake lights being mounted in and around that area. And I don't think they would specifically be illegal as long as they were of the appropriate color and they weren't being used to specifically interfere with an ability to read the plate. Because shining light directly into the eyes or into a camera would cause problems. I'm sure there's some dubious fellows who put UV emitters on there to mess with cameras from reading. There's all sorts of stuff happening. Okay, Life's Allowed Studios wants to know. Actually, I'm misreading that. Life's a Load Studio is the name. I read loud because I want studio to me makes a lot of sense, but a load studio makes less sense to me. Anyway, underglow legal or not? There's no specific underglow law. However, if you are projecting light forward, backwards, or to the sides of a color other than what is allowed, it would be not legal. If you were to, because if you talk to Sergeant Murray Campbell, he says if he sees the light that's being projected to him, he's going to give you a ticket. And you can only project amber or red to the rear, only white or amber to the front. Not specifically, talking about the sides, but the way to avoid that is only have the light directed down, bouncing off the ground. That's not directed forward or back. That's reflecting off the ground. And I think that would be something that even if you were charged, you'd be able to defend. The bulbs were not visible directly, thus you were not projecting light in any particular direction other than down. Down is reflected light. That's a different story. So there's a story. Life's a Load Studio because he's a trucker and he's always loading. He's always got a load of something. Makes sense now. But see, studio, I'm a guy with a microphone. So to me, studio is microphone. I totally get you now. Thanks for clarifying. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Melody likes mini wheats. Oh, shredded wheat is the giant one with no frosting. Hell no. Mini wheats with sugar, I would understand. But I like anything with peanut butter in it. Is there a lot of peanut butter cereal? So yesterday, my magical meat lunch came with dessert, of which I don't eat. I don't eat sugar. So I took it home to share with the fam, and it was a peanut butter cheesecake, and it smells so good. I didn't eat it, but I watched them eat it, and it's almost like eating it, almost. Melody says we don't care about plate frames, but the light has to be proper. Oh, now Melody is as a mechanic saying for certification purposes it wouldn't interfere with certification. I'm guessing I'm extrapolating from your statement. That makes sense for you guys. Now, when you say light has to be proper, if the license plate frame had a neon light of whiteness or of any color, would it interfere with your ability to certify? Or as long as the bulb was mounted, you would pass it for certification purposes? I just need to clarify. Oh, we got dad jokes from Akela. And Akela likes bland food because he can't have much else. See, and that's where I'm like, spice it up, baby. Give me hot food all the time. I go through hot sauce like it's on fire. I go through it a lot. And it's funny, when I got rid of carbs and sugars, I'm like, I'm going to completely remove this from my diet. And I proceeded to have lots of hot sauce that my buddy had given me. He gave me a gallon of hot sauce for Christmas. And I destroyed that gallon in short order. It was really good hot sauce. Didn't know it had tons of sugar in it because in my mind, hot sauce doesn't have sugar. Why would you put sugar in hot sauce? This hot sauce had sugar. Probably why it was so damn tasty. But I no longer have that hot sauce. My kids have that hot sauce. Okay. Life's a Load Studio says, "Oh, PB cheesecake sounds awesome." My wife says it was. Yeah, it looked good. It smelled good. Okay, I see you there, Azrael. Don't get any ideas with the UV. Okay, to discuss. Oh. Remember that French Toast Crunch cereal? Yes, absolutely. And he goes on to say, the license plate light is supposed to be a white light. Yes, 3 candela white light. And IWAOC 187. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. It's Krish. How you doing? And Queenie Chris says nothing but join the stream. So welcome on Instagram. Azrael says you got to do the chip challenge once while streaming. It would be fun to see. So I got to tell you, I've done the one chip challenge. My buddy and I did it at work. It was not when we recorded it, so I do have evidence. We did not have a problem consuming the chip. It was tasteless. It really didn't bother us to eat it, chew it, and swallow it. The issue was afterwards when both of us puked. We both got sick to our stomach about a half an hour later, vomited our guts up. I thought I was going to die. I was in a cold sweat, lying down. I was so sick. Didn't burn, didn't do well in the tummy. Not good at all. Yuck. Melody is, yes, it was an awful experience. My wife says he did it. It's not a good experience. I have pictures though. It did make it's died, so your tongue is blue. So we took stupid pictures going, So I actually recently sent this to him, the picture. I don't think we're going to publish it, but it was a thing. Melody clarifies that the plate light must be white, controlled by headlamps, and not projected rearward. Yes, it must be down at the light on the thing. So any rearward, yeah, because you can't project white to the rear, so that makes sense. You're illuminating the plate and nothing but. Okay. I said, okay, so I put up a video saying I'm looking for intersections that are good examples of people doing it wrong, whether it be stoptional, people don't stop for the stop sign, people don't do the right thing when they're driving. And there's a ton of people who just don't drive right. They drive wrong. They break the laws. They do it unsafely. And most laws are trying to get you to do safe stuff. So I put out a video and I said, please tell me the intersections where I should spend time, because I am going out and I'm going to film some samples, some examples of really crappy driving, people using their phones and whatnot. And I'm going to create content with that footage and make some people famous. Now, discussions as to, how many death threats I want to have when I start posting people's pictures. But I do want to show examples of what people are seeing. And the police can't be everywhere, but I can camp out for a day and record an intersection, because I don't have to respond to 911 calls, because I ain't a cop no more. But I do want to share and shed light on issues in communities. So if you have an intersection that you think I should spend time at and record what's going on, intersections or areas, let me know. But I'm going to tell you now what the world has responded to. So Brampton in general, and it got 192 likes, that comment, Brampton. So not an intersection, but I acknowledge that people seem to think that that is a bad place to drive and that bad drivers are there. Now, I must note that there are drivers in all jurisdictions that go to Brampton. I've been to Brampton. Just because I'm in Brampton doesn't make me a bad driver. And they're trying to say that people who are from Brampton are bad drivers. That may not be true, because they don't know if they're from Brampton or not, which then says it might be some bias in that statement. However, I acknowledge that Brampton has very wide roads, and they tend to lead people to speed because they think it's the big wide open racetrack. And I've seen some sketchy stuff in Brampton. I'm not going to, make excuses for it, but I am going to go and do some recording in there and try and give a report card. Now, yesterday I was in Whitby, and we put a camera on the car, actually multiple cameras in the car, drove around, and I was hard pressed to find one violator. Some poor seating positions, but not a violator. Nobody was on their cell phone. That was shocking to me, because in Toronto, every other driver is on their cell phone. 50%. Okay, traffic's not moving, whereas in Whitby, it was moving pretty well. So it's some interesting stuff. Motorcycle Experience has some videos for me. And also, he completed the RCMP fitness test. I love to hear more about that. And Akela's in Brampton or close by, and he's got a patch for me. He's got patches for me. Rabbit hole patches, like I'm going down right now. Now, Brampton was the #1 most liked comment. And if you want to vote for to change the category, because I'm going to reevaluate all the comments on that video, so you can go back and watch it. Yonge and Eglinton was the second most liked comment. So that's a currently super screwed up intersection because of construction. So I could see why people are saying it's not being done right. But that's mostly, it might be driver behavior, but it's influenced by a really crappy intersection right now. Bathurst and 16th Avenue. Interesting. That's the third most liked comment. And that it's an interesting intersection. I've been there recently. I got a viral video there when I was driving around there, where a guy in a minivan wanted to prevent someone from turning into his lane. He was being a bit of a dick. Okay, a big dick. Baseline Road and Duke Street in Bowmanville. A lot of people agreed with that. And Young in Wellington and Aurora, 404 exit at Finch in Toronto, Park Place Plaza roundabouts in Barrie. A number of Barrie stuff. Mapleview and Park Place in Barrie. Jane and Eglinton, St. Clair and Weston, or Old Weston, Kenilworth Access Roundabout in Hamilton. I haven't heard a lot of Hamilton stuff. Another vote for all intersections in Burlington. Oh, I thought it was going to say Brampton, but Burlington is another B word. Brimley and Ellesmere, Bloomington and 48 roundabout in Stouffville, McLaughlin and Williams Parkway, Eglinton Avenue West and Blackhorn Avenue, Bayfield from Livingston to Ferris and Barrie, another Barrie. Oh, Mapleview from and Bryna Drive to Bayview Drive in Barrie, Martin Grove in Eglinton, Whites Road, New Highview Pickering, Gordon Baker south to Finch. Gordon Baker, I'm familiar with. It's a messed up place. I wonder what specifically they were poking at. I used to go to a gym there. Interesting. Whites Road, we talked about that. Shaw and Marchmount, Eglinton and Allen. That's a mess. That's an absolute mess. I'd love to spend time there. That's right in front of the 13th Division. Rutherford and Sweet River Boulevard in Vaughan. Don't know the area. I mean, I know Rutherford. I don't know where Sweet River Boulevard is. Faywood and Invermay Avenue in North York. Golden Orchard and Grassfire. That's a horrible name for a street, Grassfire. Yeah. St. Clair eastbound to Kiel, Harmony Bloor, Tennessee. I've got a lot of different places. Dean Court and Harmony, Savaline and Dinot Avenue in Milton, Hove and Sear in North York. Cyril, Hove and Cyril. Okay. Torresdale Avenue and Antibes Drive. That Torresdale is a mess. I used to do enforcement there all the time, and I would see people, I would do stop sign in particular there, and I would see people slowing down for a stop sign while somebody else passes them into oncoming traffic to not stop at the stop sign. Horrible, horrible driving on Torresdale. I don't know what it is about that. Cherry and Mill, Cherry and Front, Cherry and Eastern. Apparently Cherry ain't no cherry. Jarvis and Esplanade, Caledonia Road between St. Clair and Rogers Road, Keelan and Wilson, Dufferin and Rainey / Bentworth, Weston and Lawrence, Markham John Street at Bayview. Interesting. Weston Road and Lawrence. Are these places that you agree with? I'd love to know what you think. Cherry Street, Mill Street. I think those are duplications. Yeah, I see Cherry and Mill Street's being counted twice. So I need to go through and make sure there's no duplications. Young and St. John's Side Road, Third Line and Dundas, Kingston Road and St. Clair. Like, these are really interesting things. Now, this was a clip from yesterday, and a ton more comments have come in. If you go through this list, if you go into that video and click on the intersections that you agree with, add new intersections that you think I should visit. We are very seriously creating a schedule for shooting where we are going to go and monitor these intersections. We're going to give a serious amount of time for each one and share what we find. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. What do we have here? Okay, I'm seeing some conversation between two people. This is Life's a Load Studio and Damon and Azrael. Everyone's having a little chat, so I get the guys, do your thing. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna get into to dad jokes, and we're gonna call it. Motorcycle Experience says, "Come to Lakeshore between." Hang on a second. He says between Brown's Line and Kipling. That is for speed. The problem is I don't have a speed measurement device, so I don't know how much use. I'll put it in here. Brown's Line. Apparently can't type today. Brown's Line and between Kipling and Brown's Line. No, Lakeshore. I'm typing this down totally wrong. Lakeshore between Brown's Line and Kipling, or vice versa. Just added it to the list. Thank you for that. Oh, you used to go to that gym too? Yes. So funny thing about that gym, Akela, is I had like a $10 a month membership there, and it was a lifetime price locked in. It was Bally Fitness. And I paid for like years and never went. I ended up selling my membership to my buddy. So I got it on a promotion. I transferred it to him. He still has it. He goes across the United States with his Bally's, which converted to something else, I think. He still pays us 10 or 11 bucks a month. And he just paid me out for like whatever I paid for that year, a couple of years. So I broke even. What a great deal that was. And I never used it. Okay. Dad joke time. Got that. Those are flagged. Cool. Dad joke from, I think it was Bernhard. He says, when is a door not a door? A door is not a door when it is ajar. I used to have, well, my dad used to have a Datsun 280 ZX Turbo. And if you didn't, it was the first talking car. So if you didn't close, it was our first talking car. And it says, if you didn't close it, it would say, your door is ajar. Bing bong, your door is ajar. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a door. And that was every day. It was an everyday joke. Johnny says, hi, I've seen you many times on live, and I really thank you for getting us to know the traffic rules. Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for the thank you. And Akela says, knock, knock. Who's there? Omelet. Omelet who? Omelet mummy sleep in today. I'm going to let mummy sleep in today. I'll give it a rim shot. I'm going to let, yeah, okay. Star Wars dad joke. Why did Yoda stop going on missions after he moved to Dagobah? He was swamped. If you're a Star Wars person, you should know that Dagobah was a giant swamp planet. Yes. Quote, there is no dishonor in losing the race. There is only dishonor in not racing because you're afraid to lose. Garth Stein, The Art of Racing the Rain. I like that. Yes. Neha says good morning, and I say good morning to you. We're signing off. You got here late, my friend, but good to see you. Just checking to see if we missed. What's up, X? That's Parony 351 who wants to know. What's up, X? We just did a live stream. It was good. Now we're signing off. But I'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for After Dark, and we'll talk about stuff and things then. Have a great day. Drive safe, drive sober. If you've got questions, well, keep them until tomorrow night or Friday morning, or go to askatrafficcop.ca and leave me voicemail. You can also DM me or email me. I try and get through and get back to everybody. But have a great day and make it a good one, because you only got so much time on this planet. You better enjoy it while you got it. Take care. Jenny says they were on the 401 and they were driving. They saw people driving the HOV, but they only had one driver in the car. Were they in vehicles that were hybrid, plug-in hybrids? They're legal with green plates. If they had green plates, they're legal in that lane. The taxis, they're legal in that lane. Or they were just violating the law and don't care. So yeah, if they were electric cars or hybrids, they were legal. It's a thing. It's the privilege of having an electric car. Have a great day.